welcome to today's episode. Watching MD90 live here in Lusaka, here in Zambia. So stay tuned till the very end. Don't click out and subscribe if you haven't already.
Well, John Sangwa was just on Hot FM just a couple of minutes ago, and part of his interaction, he was asked a question to say, if you are placed in the same room with the Republican president, Hakainde Hichilema, what advice would you give him? And he went down the road explaining to say that opportunity of him being in the same room and having an interaction with Hakainde Hichilema was already presented in 2023. And that advice was not heed. So he feels that President Hakainde Hichilema is not one person that is willing to accommodate any divergent view or any advice or whatsoever. Hence, if he was to be placed in a room with him, he would simply keep quiet because he's already done that before. He's already given advice before, but it wasn't taken. So it will be of no use for him to advise. Let's listen to an extract of what John Sangwa had to say. Stand by.
Close.
Yes.
Mark, we'll get your perspective on this. President Hichilema is seeking a second term. Do you think he deserves one? And if you were with him in the room, what would you be saying to him?
Well, if I was with him in the room, no, I'll say nothing to him.
Really?
Yeah, I'll say nothing. Because I had an opportunity like that 6 months into his presidency. We're in a room together, and I shared my thoughts as to what needed to be done in order to push the country forward. I had that opportunity, and the only opportunity I had, and I shared my thoughts, and I offered that I was available to be of service to the country. I shared my own views in terms of what he needed to do immediately. And none of those things that we shared ever materialized. And I don't think the president is a person that can take advice. So even if I was to be with him alone in a room, I'll simply keep quiet. There's nothing that I can tell him.
So do you think he deserves a second term then?
No, I do not.
So that was John Sangwa on Hot FM, where he says he does not feel a second term for Hakainde Hichilema is well deserved, based off his performance earlier on Hot FM. What is the Patriotic Front wrangles continue as there has been a fight. Mostly it has ensued between Gideon Lubinda and Chris Manizimba, who used to be the political advisor to the late Edgar Chagalungu during his tenure of office. So as you may be aware, those Patriotic Front fights are ongoing, and Zumani on Given Lubinda, he says they masquerade as they are masqueraders referring to that's Shimba Kambwili, Mao Sampa, and Given Lubinda. Chris Manzima says those are masqueraders, spoilers and jokers. No one takes them seriously. We are the Tonse Alliance with Brian Mundube is our duly elected leader. So Chris, he's been very loud about this point of view recently, and that is to do with the fact to say him and pretty much Chris Manzimba is the person that birthed Tonse Alliance. After coming out of prison, he says he's the one that presented Tonse Alliance idea to Edgar Chagalungu, and pretty much like it's his brainchild after leaving prison off that treasonous case that he had to do with gassing, if you remember, right after Edgar Chagalunga had lost presidency. So he simply goes Given Lubinda, Mao Sampa, Shimba Kambwili, and his team saying those are jokers because they had the power to run Patriotic Front, but they are the ones who put Patriotic Front into the ground. Mao Sampa in particular is the one that caused that convention that bred Chabinga, who's currently holding the papers for the Patriotic Front. And now he's back with Gideon Lubinda, so he calls them jokers pretty much. That's Zumani's opinion. And he says, given Winda's team, those Patriotic Front the political party traders, referring to Mao Sampa there. I went to prison on gassing and treason charges. The people claiming Tonse Alliance have never been to prison. So that's one thing that doesn't sit well with him. He even says, no, amongst the people that are claiming to be on Edgar Chagwalungu's side, it's only him, Christopher Nzimba, that actually went to prison for that. And maybe Shimba Kamwidi, but the rest, given Winda and Mao Sampa, those have never been to prison for any of association with Edgar Chagwalungu. So he calls them jokers pretty much, and simply saying they are the people that should be held accountable for the loss of Patriotic Front, because Edgar Chagwalungu had entrusted them to run the party. But Mao Sampa was able to dribble them, and now Chalinga has dribbled them, and it doesn't look like Patriotic Front is going to be on the ballot box going into this August general elections. So that back and forth in the Patriotic Front doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. Those wrangles continue. What is Citizen First won't escort anyone to State House. That's Harry Kalaba. So Harry Kalaba has put his foot down, saying he's no longer participating in these any of these alliances. He's going it alone. And he says Citizen First President Harry Kalaba says opposition unity is failing because the Patriotic Front's insistence of being the anchor party. Kalaba says his party was not formed to escort another party into government. That's in the News Diggers. So you gotta commend him for that. He's putting his foot down. He's saying, hey, if it means me losing, I would rather lose alone than be in a park just for me to escort others to State House. I will be on the ballot box. I'll be on the ballot, Kalaba. That's in the Daily Revelation. Those who believe the UPND must go should work with. Those who believe UPND must go should work with Citizen First. That's his party. So he's insisted to say at this point, he's not even up for negotiation. He is going to be on the ballot box, whether it be in an association. And if any association wants to, or any alliance wants to work with him, probably he has to be the candidate. And maybe they can garner for running it. Otherwise, he's going to run it alone and be on the ballot box as a Citizen First. So, he's free to do what he wants at this point. And then UPND, not surprised by Patriotic Front members of parliament seeking to contest on its ticket. It has become apparent, as you may be aware, there's been a countdown that has been going on to say the next 10 days will be the last days. If by-election happen, if someone is fired from a political party the next 10 days or resigns, then a by-election can be held. But after this, the next 10 days, even if a person resigns, ditches the party that they're in, they cannot be fired from that party, and neither can a by-election take place, because there are rules that have been set for the Electoral Commission of Zambia, simply stating to say 108 should be 108 days before the general elections, no by-elections can take place in any constituency. So it's then that you are likely to see a number of defections. And Kantanshi Member of Parliament, Anthony Mumba, has called on Patriotic Front members of Parliament to make individual political decisions amidst growing speculation of possible defections to the ruling UPND. That's likely to be the case. Once they understand that now they cannot lose their benefit, you're going to see it. One of the members of Parliament put it clear. He was addressing Gary Nkombo and a number of other UPND officials, and he simply stated to say some MPs have already even written their resignation letters to the Patriotic Front. The man you see on screen, he simply advised them to say, don't do it now because you're going to lose your benefit at Parliament. So that's the only thing that they're holding on to at the moment, is them not to lose their gratuity from Parliament. Otherwise, once they know they are safe, that within the window where no by-election can be held, expect a number of defections. Let's wait and see how that plays out. If the opposition is going to be left with any members of Parliament, it looks like a number of them are more inclined to move to the UPND from the way it's playing out. And says UPND Deputy Secretary General Gertrude Imenda says the party is not surprised by the growing number of Patriotic Front members and other aspiring candidates seeking to contest on the UPND ticket ahead of this year's general elections. Ms. Imenda tells Phoenix News that the surge in interest is clear indication that many politicians have taken note of the significant achievement of the UPND as recorded and sincere since assuming office, and now wish to associate themselves with the party's governance agenda and development vision. So that's the UPND reaction there. Let judiciary as parliament be independent. That's the president from Ghana. That's in the Daily Nation. Zambia Daily Mail, Emingato, not rigging formula. That's UPND winning strategy is already yielding results. That's Cornelius Moitwa statement. And then Zambia, Ghana waves off visa. So it's visa free for you to travel to Ghana, and Ghanaians can come to Zambia visa free as of yesterday. The two presidents signed that deal. And fuel shortage hits Lusaka. That's in the news diggers. And pretty much that's the news, ladies and gentlemen. Have a beautiful day.